We start this video off by asking ourselves the most important question. Which one is for Coke? Is it Leraro or is it Quint? Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime xillia, and thank you for joining me as we talk about the Rachel Epilogue from the Tower of God webtoon series. Our final stop before getting into season 2 content, and honestly I've enjoyed this mini arc from the Rachel Epilogue type of point of view, as it leaves us asking a lot of questions, but also drops pieces of information here and there that makes us go, huh, okay, that makes sense. That's pretty cool. So then let's start with our main heroine, Rachel. This girl literally threw a hissy fit and then got a chance to make a deal with Heldon. She basically went into the tower. Heldon was like, you're not the one. You're not the one. Honestly, when I read that line, I kind of thought of like if you played the Pokemon games, you've seen the Ghost Girl in Pokemon. There's one game where she walks in and she goes, you are not the one. And then it goes all creepy and then like walks out. That's what it reminded me of, kind of. But hey, little tangent, back to the thing. Basically, she sees Bam then kind of passing this test that she refused to do because she didn't want to die. And it's like, Bam had a weapon. He had help from that princess, that girl. And then she threw in even more of a hissy fit. And Heldon went, right, you're despicable. I don't like you, but let's make a deal. And then that deal then led to her working with Hong Sung-yu in concocting another plan that went along with Heldon's deal. So honestly, that shows that there actually was something in the background going on, which we kind of could have speculated by reading the arcs little by little as we went through the stages. But it's nice to see them bring that to the forefront and just clarify that and say basically like, look, Rachel was behind most of what happened. Her having her legs kind of not fixable by Hong Sung-yu was part of the plan. And throughout her interaction with Heldon, we see a lot of really fun and interesting expressions from both Heldon and Rachel, as Rachel desperately tries to get permission to climb the tower, and Heldon just refuses. And he goes as far as calling her ugly and nasty, which brings this amazing look onto Rachel's face. This shock, the horror on Rachel's expression there was just brilliant to see. We see looks from Heldon that indicate disdain and trickery, especially in the image where he's smiling at Rachel, specifically almost teasing her to the point where it looks like he's being playful. He knows that Rachel is watching Bam do this kind of test that Rachel refused to do. And Rachel's there going, no, don't go, Bam, don't do it, don't do it. She's like getting angry and desperately banging on the Shinzu glass or something. I don't really know what it was. But he then turns around, sees her, and just smirks. That I loved. Another emotion that was shown from Rachel's character was anger, as she looked really annoyed once Bam entered the tower, looking for her. From this, we can clearly tell that she does not want anything to do with him. And it later revealed that she's afraid of the night, which the word Bam also means night in Korean. This little detail I absolutely loved, as it adds more bulk to the whole Rachel dislike towards Bam and the kind of tension between the two. I loved that. Thank you whoever put in the page that it was on that Bam meant night in Korean. Honestly, that just enjoyed and increased my enjoyment while reading that part of the chapter by tenfold. Honestly, brilliant. So then, the big guy that appears with Rachel and in Dorsey, that is still currently with them in the webtoon version, but not really with them in the anime, is called Ghost. This character was given to Rachel by Heldon as a tool to help her in whatever deal was made between the two. Like, we never actually know the specifics between what was said between Rachel and Heldon, but at the same time, Rachel still was like, I don't have a weapon, how can I possibly fight? So he gave her that ghost bodyguard type of creature. Now, the fact that he's not in the anime tells me one of two things. One, either the anime just didn't really read season 2 and just decided, hey, we don't need to animate this guy anymore, let's just keep him off. Meaning he's not that important. Or the anime only read the first season of the webtoon, didn't realise that this ghost guy makes like a big monumental thing in the series, and then just kind of will now go, oh, well, we needed him. Why did we take him off the screen? If you know why there's a change between anime and webtoon, you know, him being there in the webtoon and him not being there in the anime, if it's not a massive spoiler, then feel free to let me know in the comments down below, because that was the only thing that kind of confused me a little bit when looking at the differences between the two. But again, I would hazard to guess that it means that the big ghost character isn't that necessary in season 2, but I guess we'll find out soon. Right, so Hong Sung-yu. I thought reading this webtoon might actually help me be less confused as to where this character loyalties stand at the moment. And I kind of believed he was the enemy throughout the whole entire series of season 1, whether that's anime or webtoon. I still find villainous vibes from him. But at the same time, the dialogue makes it sound like he's helping Bam, along with that red-headed guide that we see, you know, accompanying him and going down and finding Bam towards the end of this arc. Now, to fully understand Hong Sung-yu's actions, I might have to continue reading the story and go deep into season 2. I understand that, but at a rough guess, I would say that Hong Sung-yu is using Bam to possibly deal with the Ulrich situation on floor 77. As we know, what kind of power and influence Ulrich actually has, and we also know what dormant power lays within Bam. So if Hong Sung-yu knows about the power that Bam might possess, then it's obvious that he would want to train him and use him, manipulate him into, you know, accomplishing something for Hong Sung-yu's character. I think that's very along the lines of Yu's character to do, and it'll be quite interesting to see if that plays out that way. But then, teaching Bam a certain type of combat, obviously making him stronger, could be a problem in the future, because Bam could get even stronger than Hong Sung-yu himself. But the way I can see them kind of tackling this situation and making it so this isn't a problem, because Hong Sung-yu is a smart character, so I'm sure if this is what's happening, he would actually kind of think of a safe backup plan, so to speak. So they would teach Bam only certain types of combat moves, and only those specific moves. This would help prevent a situation in where Bam gets too strong, and Hong Sung-yu can't, you know, take out Bam afterwards. Because if Bam is an irregular with so much power, and he gains more influence as he goes up, even if he takes down Ulrich and his group, then Bam obviously is going to become another problem. So Hong Sung-yu, if he is training / manipulating / using Bam, then obviously he would need to have like a way to take Bam down afterwards. Now, I might just be completely wrong, but all signs kind of do suggest this a little bit. Because we don't know what's actually up on floor 77, but we have a rough guess that most people are going there. We know that Yuri has told Bam to meet them once he becomes a ranker on floor 77. We know Leirero mentions going up there. So there's a lot of emphasis and a lot of mentioning of the floor 77, which leads me to believe that when we get to that floor, things are going to start getting a lot chaotic and hectic, and I'm actually looking forward to that. Apart from that, no, and again, I could be completely wrong. I could, you know, that's just me guessing and roughly speculating on what I think is going to happen going forward. Again, apart from that, I really like Hong Sung-yu's character in this arc, as it lets him kind of continue being this villain, this character within the story, but then adding a bit more mystery and a bit more confusion to the character, keeping us as the audience on our toes and guessing as to what's going to happen. Plus, those rings he gives out to everybody at the end before they kind of go up to the next floor must play some kind of role. Maybe a tracking device or something, but Hong Sung-yu isn't the type of character to just hand out free gifts without a reason. There's got to be something attached to those rings that kind of, you know, gives us that payoff, the reasoning as to why he did that. I don't think Hong Sung-yu would gladly give out rings to people. It's just not in his personality. Again, no, the anime didn't include this, so maybe it's not that important, but hey, we have to hope and see where this goes. I'd like to see Hong Sung-yu back in season 2. Hopefully he does. I don't think he's going to just stay on this floor though. I think he's going to have a bit more of an intricate part Like I said, I think he might have a hand in training Bam and moulding him into something that he can maybe manipulate and to use. Seeing that Bam's character at the moment still is a little bit naive. Seeing Bam, however, since we're talking about him, we might as well go into detail. Seeing Bam covered in blood at the end was fantastic, as this shows that his character has a lot of determination and has a fire lit within his eyes. It looks like Bam is angry, with a bit of confusion mixed in there as well at Rachel for doing what she did. This is, of course, what will drive Bam and make him determined to move forward, leading us to the new type of Bam, one that is a bit more skilled and better equipped for climbing the tower. We know that Bam is going to have a training arc. He's going to discover more things about Shinzu and how to use them. And we know how Bam can pick up things and learn things very quickly. So seeing his new skills in Season 2 should be a delight. So overall, I really did enjoy reading this arc, and I'm glad I did not choose to skip it, because where I've watched the anime, obviously I know Rachel's reasoning. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to have all the other arcs, I don't want to miss anything, so I'm going to read it, and I'm very, very much glad I did. Now, with Leiro and Quint being out of a job because one quit and the other got fired, slash sacked, and the rest of the cast now moving to higher floors, what will await our cast? We'll have to see what happens in Season 2 as we go through the webtoon series, little by little. And hopefully you will continue to join me on this journey as we explore more arcs into Season 2 and beyond. However, I think I'll kick next week's off with 2 arcs instead of 1. Let's go straight into Season 2 with a bit of a bang and more hype, shall we? Because I know that, okay, I've seen that the arcs are a little bit smaller as we start the season, so let's go with 2. Hopefully though, you've enjoyed my thoughts on this video. Overall, I think that Season 1 of the webtoon series is actually been really interesting and much better than what the anime did give us. Anime wasn't terrible, but this was an improvement. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed my thoughts on these videos. If you have, please consider hitting that like button. Subscribe if you're new for more webtoon and anime content on a weekly basis. And, you know, comment all your thoughts down below on this arc and on the Season 1 in general. And what you think I should do moving forward into Season 2. Any feedbacks would be greatly appreciated. Other than that though, I hope you have an amazing day. Arigato, matane. Goodbye.